Um, so my name is, as Sarah just said very perfectly, my name is Anne Lovige, and as you can hear as well, I'm French, and I've been in the US for a little bit more than a year now, and located in Washington, DC. I'm very excited to be with you today, and thank you very much for having me. And a special thank as well to Nicole, who's not here today, but who introduced me to this great network. Today, I want to present you Be Connected. So it's pronounced Be Connected. And it's my company, which I founded right in the middle of the COVID, right? It's not a problem because at Be Connected, we have superpowers. So we don't have a vaccine, but we have superpowers. And those superpowers, we use them to turn networking events into business matchmaking events. And before I go into the details of our services, I would like you to remember the last in-person networking event you attended. I know it's a bit a long time ago. And so if you think about this, what were the pain points, okay? I would say the first one was that all of you knew a lot of people that were attending this meeting, okay? So it's human. You went and catch up with those people you know and say, hello, how are you, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so it's part of the reason why you were attending this event, right? But it's only part of it. The second pain point that I've identified is that when you don't know the people in the room, or when you want to do some new connections, it's you have to rely on chance or luck, right? To bump into the right person. So, and luck is not always on your side, unfortunately. So when we think now of a most recent time when we've been switching to online networking, we have Zoom, right? We're happy to have it today. And I suppose we've all been using those breakout rooms with Zoom, which is okay, right? But I mean, you're still like 3, 4, 5 people in the breakout room. And if there is some people that you want to speak to directly about a business, you might not want to do it because there might be a competitor in the room, right? Okay, so when we all seen those themes, so what could make it better? A superhero, maybe. So what's great about superheroes? I'll try to, I don't know if I can share my screen, Sarah? Yes, good. So
I was gonna say, is it the underwear? Is that what's great about being a superhero?
Sorry?
I was gonna say, is it the underwear? Is it the costume? Is that what I get to? Is that the great TMI? No.
So what's great about superheroes, right, is that they have superpowers. So now let's go back to those events you went to, but now you have superpowers. Superpowers number 1, the event is still online, right? Because it's our situation nowadays, but it's one-on-one and it's face-to-face, okay? So now you can speak to this person that, sorry, it goes too quickly, to this person that you wanted to speak to. Then second power, you know who is going to be there, okay? So it means that you have the list of all the participants that are going to attend your event. You have access to their name, their company, their job function, and why they are here. And like that, you can select the people you want to meet. Okay, so you will choose who you will meet at this meeting, because you will send meeting requests to the person you'd like to meet, and you will receive meeting requests from some other people. And those meeting requests, you can accept them or reject them. And then you definitely choose who you want to meet, and you don't rely on luck. As superpower number 4, at the same time, you can as well exhibit your products and services in a virtual marketplace, right? You can have virtual booths. Well, you can show pictures, videos, and then descriptions of your products. So you can show, and you can, of course, visit the other attendees' offers. Superpower number 5, you can prepare your meetings, because at the end of the day, you end up with a list of, with an agenda of confirmed meetings, okay? And you know in advance the people you're going to meet, their functions, etc. And you can prepare your meetings according to each person you're going to meet. Superpower number 6, with this list of meetings that you have for each of them a link to a Zoom meeting. So at the day and time of the meeting, you just have to click on this link and it will connect you with the person you are supposed to meet. And superpower number 7, I make it go smoothly, right? So I know where I need to communicate, to give a little help on how to do it. I know when I need to send some reminders. I know where all the little troubles or that piece of information that people might want. And I do that so that it's easy for you to join the event and to be part of it and to make it a very efficient event, right? So how does it feel to have all these superpowers now? Those superpowers, actually, I give them, I give them to my clients, right? And who are my clients? They are not the individual participants. They are the directors of networks, business professional networks and organizations who want to create better and more efficient connections between the members. So they are, for example, business networks like this one. They are business support organizations like Chambers of Commerce. They are industry organizations, alumni organizations, so with their career services as well. But they can be as well big companies who hire regularly and want to welcome those new people at the time they can't really do it in person, right? So they want to welcome and they want to make them feel part of a team. So it's a possibility as well. And those people, I give them my superpowers for either a one-shot event or it can be recurring events. Okay, so it's their choice. Okay. And I've been having very positive feedbacks from my first users, and I have one in the room, so I hope he will go my way. But it's really about being effective, okay? Because we crave for connections, but we don't have so much time, so we need to make the best out of our networking time. Now, all these superpowers that I'm showing now are actually your superpowers, because what I need now is to have my superpowers known. And for these, I need some relevant contacts. I need some ideas of cost-efficient communication possibilities, and maybe you have some of them. Actually, preparing this presentation was a great tool for me because it helped me presenting and speaking about it in a different way. And so I'm very happy for that. And I thank you very much for listening to me, for your attention. And I'll be very happy to answer your questions and to getting all the feedbacks that you can give to me. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Anne. All right, so open for questions. Who has a question?
I have a comment.
Sure.
So I've used your platform, and I think it's really great. You mentioned the length of time of each session, and I think that was also very good. I think it was about 15 minutes.
It was actually 15 minutes. It was slots of 15 minutes. So we used to speak about speed dating, and usually, I mean, the ideal situation is that you keep it into 10 minutes so that you keep some time to stop the meeting and go to the next when you have a list of meetings.
I was talking to a colleague yesterday, and he mentioned he had a similar event, kind of online, almost like a speed dating type, thing for the professional world, and it was 3 minutes. And
3 minutes.
It was impossible. It was. I mean, they got cut off every time in the middle of their sentence.
Yeah. I think because I mean, what I do is of course possible in person as well. Mm-hmm. And when you have an in-person event, you might use these 3 minutes. Or let's say 5, and then you do 3 minutes and you have 2 minutes to rush into the next table. But right. it's still, I mean, you don't want to stress people, okay? Right. So
it's not enough time to find common ground, to find a connection.
Exactly.
To any kind of meaningful.
Yeah. But actually, just as information, the time is completely adaptable. It's completely flexible. Okay, so according to the type of event, because it might be job dating, it might be. I mean, we can have, if we want, we can have an event of 3 days, and we can have meetings of 1 hour if we want. Okay, it's completely flexible. The event David attended, it was a length of 90 minutes. So with meetings of 15, with meeting slots of 15 minutes, you had the opportunity to have 6 meetings.
How big do you see the groups are usually?
Sorry?
How big are the groups usually for the meetings? Are they larger? Is it 50 people typically, or?
It's one-on-one meetings, right? And you have, of course, the number of attendees. It's completely flexible. Okay, the more, I would say that the more people are attending, the best it is, of course, because it gives you a lot of choice to choose from. We have some filters that you can use to select the people that are more relevant to your activity, for example. So you can use those filters. So it can be, I mean, we can have 2,000 people in a meeting.
Yeah, it's big. And you said you started during, your business started during, the whole pandemic. Were there any obstacles or challenges that you didn't foresee, or can you just tell us a little bit about your experience opening up a business during this time?
Yeah, I mean, it was the reason I launched it is that I could do it online, okay? Because the initial idea is, of course, is for in-person events. But the cool thing is that it works as well with online events. So that's the main reason why I still decided to launch it. And actually, I thought it would even be an opportunity, because not being able to have those in-person events, you still need to, after this period of everybody being a bit stuck, well, life needs to go on and you need to make new connections, etc. So that was even an opportunity. An obstacle that I found was maybe that all of a sudden there was a lot of offer on from all the organization, a lot of free events, right? Free webinars, networking cafes on Zoom, etc., etc. So the organization, and I helped the organization to do that, needs really to communicate on the fact that it's not just another Zoom or another webinar, okay? It's really targeted, really focused, and it's business oriented, right? So, and results oriented. So that's why this event, it's going to be, people are gonna charge, organizations are gonna charge for it, because you're sure to have a result, like you're sure to have some meetings and probably some positive returns on that.
This reminds me of a program that I experienced in, I was talking about it this morning with someone else, a program that apparently is now defunct. And I don't know if you're familiar with it, Anne. It's called Connect for Lunch.
I don't know it.
It was kind of like a blind date for business people, but it wasn't one-on-one. It was always you set up your profile within the program, and then you said what industry you were in and what industries that you wouldn't want to have lunch with. And so you would just get an invitation. You get an email, hey, you've been scheduled for lunch on such and such date. Do you accept? And it would be with 3 other people. And like you said, there would be the 3 other profiles connected within that lunch. And then you would just meet at a local restaurant. And the thing that was so wonderful about it is I got to know so many restaurants that I never would have visited in the community without this program. And I met people, and when you sit down and you have it, and I'm telling you all this because I want to share that I went to go look up that program because I thought that maybe it was kind of like our program, a chapter one. And apparently it's no longer in progress. So it's called Connect for Lunch, and both domains, Connect with the number 4 and Connect FOR Lunch, are available. So I was really surprised and disappointed actually to see that. And your program actually put me terrifically in mind about that program, because it's kind of the same idea. It's an opportunity. I feel able to, when I'm able to actually look somebody in the face and sit across from them, even in this strange online environment, I'm able to have a better relationship. And kind of, there are things that we express in communication that are not through our voice. They're not verbal, and they're witnessed with our eyes. For sure. So you get a better feel about who a person is when you're able to speak with them face to face. And then you decide whether or not you want to refer your clients to them in the future. And that's what networking is all about.
Any other questions or remarks or feedback?
Yeah, I got sort of a question. But how are you going to rely on just going to large companies and sort of expressing like that this is going to be like something useful for them to use, or like go to some, a group that runs big conferences or something and says like, hey, we can digitize your conference, make it better, that sort of thing? Or like, is your plan to sort of market traditionally, just grow users over time and let them do that? Because, this seems like a good fit as like a feature of LinkedIn or a feature of, Facebook business or whatever. It seems like something that would live like adjacent to an existing user base. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. That would be, yeah, that would be able to be the. I mean, my plan is, yeah, it is for now at least to address, as you said, the companies, but mostly the, as I said, the business networks and association like the American Association of blah blah blah, and because they used to have big conferences, and the networking part is always a part that's very important as well, and that everybody misses at the moment. So they everybody's switching to digital, so there are platforms for hosting that, and but not really too. I mean, some platforms actually have some random networking, so they organize some random tables, but it's not as targeted as what I do. So here it's really a question of choosing who you're going to meet, and yeah, preparing it and being very efficient in this way. But of course, yeah, I've had some questions before, like, but isn't it like, I mean, aren't you positioning yourself as a competitor for LinkedIn? Of course, as you understood it, it's completely different, right? I'm not a social network. I'm just powering up existing networks. And the thing is that I mean, by the time I build up the number of people that join the platform, I could actually organize myself some events and invite the people that are on the platform to join. Okay, I mean, to join and to attend an event. But at the moment, I don't invite myself. It's the organizations that are my clients who do.
Okay, yeah, because that was my follow up, was just like, if it was like an app that they would just, you know, something that it can go talk to all of these existing networks and like pull people into your network. It seems like that would be a quicker way to get your hooks, you know, into like these people's networks already, where like they're logging in to LinkedIn to send an invite, and then they're coming to your, you know, your platform or your app or whatever it ends up looking like. Because I mean, like, that's the network problem for all apps, is like, how do you get enough like critical mass of users for it to just become its own thing, or just get acquired by LinkedIn, which would just obviously be great, and you could just perfect. But yeah, that's just what I'm thinking when you describe this, because yeah, and it seems cool, and yeah, LinkedIn doesn't have a lot of the features that you've built into it, or, you know, explained. So that's good.
It's yes, it's what's important to have in mind is actually it's still an event, right? It's about an event and meetings that you're going to attend at an event. Any other questions and feedbacks?
It was pretty easy to create the profile, but I mean, I did, I ended up uploading a picture, the same picture I have on LinkedIn. I grabbed a few snippets from my LinkedIn profile, and when I was trying to decide who to meet with, I ended up going on their LinkedIn a lot to try to get a little bit more information, right? So, I mean, there might be value in maybe having a functionality to maybe quickly import some elements of your LinkedIn profile, or maybe just have a link to the LinkedIn profile.
Yeah, actually, yeah, both suggestions are interesting. I have to check on that.
Yeah, their
sure.
API is wide open. Like, you can pull all that stuff in really, really easy. Like it's,
okay.
you know, like any sort of web developer would be able to do it relatively quickly. So that's, yeah, I think David's definitely onto it.
Good.
We are
Yeah,
coming
thanks.
up on the hour. So we always try to ask this very specific question, Anne, and what is it that our chapter, the Santa Barbara chapter of 1 Million Cups in our community, what can we do to help you and be connected?
Well, as I said, I'm on my own. I didn't mention that, but I'm on my own. So of course, the prospection is a very time-consuming activity, and so I'm looking for contacts. So those functions that are my prospects. So directors of networks, of industry organizations, and so on, whom I could present the Be Connected to. So it's really that I need now. I need some connections. I need some contacts, because it's there are a lot. So the market is there, but it's where should I start, right? And at the same time, I'm in this position when I need to make this service known, because actually it's quite new. It's quite new. It was used before mainly with trade fairs, right? If some of you have attended some trade fair, like international trade fairs, they have been proposing that, to do some matchmaking. But it's not a service that is very well known. So I need as well some ideas to make it known, and in a cost-effective way, of course.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thanks again, Anne. We really appreciate your presentation and your participation in our program. All right. So next week, we have Pete Cooper of Skillion. There we go. And he's from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Pete's going to talk to us about his organization. So please join in and learn more about that. And while you're sharing the love for Be Connected, share the love for 1 Million Cups. Tell people to come, tell us about their business, share their business journey and their business story with us. And just to participate in the program, we would really like to have more people here. And please keep in mind that a diamond is nothing but a chunk of coal that did well under pressure. So I know that these can be difficult times, and know that when we come through this the other side, we'll all have learned a lot of new things about how to connect with each other in a world that is not conducive to connecting. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you all again next week. Have a great week.
Everybody.